Welcome back, everyone. It's episode 21. We find out how much Usher got paid to do the halftime show at the Super Bowl. Sam tells us about the greatest Conman in history, and a Utah town is rocked by a man taping fish to an ATM.
Choose the fact.
Boys.
And girls too.
Yo.
Welcome back.
Hello.
Episode 21.
Oh, he's so rubbish, isn't he?
Oh, he is rubbish, isn't he?
He's rubbish.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't he one of yours?
One
Is
of
it
mine?
A Brummie?
21 Savage?
Yeah.
He's from England. I think he's born there, but he's not.
I thought it was Birmingham that he was from.
I don't know about that. But
We'll fact check it.
episode 21.
Yep.
Yo.
We got 21 episodes to go. Any more?
21 days of September? No, wait.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay, there we are.
Well, episode 21, and we're recording this just after the iconic event that is the Super Bowl. I actually saw 21 Savage playing. They had like a celebrity flag game. Awful. Really uncoordinated, but then giving it all the beans. I don't know.
What's a flag?
Yeah,
game?
what's this?
Flags like where you don't tackle them, but you've got a flag hanging out. So when you pull
okay,
the flag
touch,
out,
like
it's
touch
like touch rugby.
yeah,
would
rugby,
be.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
But it's a lot
21
of
Savage was
celebrity.
playing in that.
Yeah, it was like they had that ice
you
show
rubbish at that as well?
speed. They had Case and that
yeah,
and all them.
yeah.
Just it looked like the one place you never wanted to be, basically.
I don't mind some of those youngsters, actually.
They probably needed a hard tackle as well, some of them. Not a touch.
Yeah, literally. But yeah, Super Bowl weekend. I don't know. You probably didn't watch it because it's on crazy late.
No, I've
It's not a
only...
halftime show.
I saw a little bit of stuff about it. I saw some like the delusional fans thinking that it was bigger than the World Cup and all that kind of stuff. And
Yeah.
Come
I mean,
on
it's
now.
just
Come on. What are we doing?
I mean, the viewership compared, it's just yeah. I think more people tuned in for a Saudi Arabia 0-0 than the Super Bowl. But anyway, we were talking about lovers and friends last week on the Valentine's special, and boy, did Usher deliver.
Yeah, good. So good. So good.
I've heard some mixed reviews, but I thought it was amazing. Did you watch it? Have you seen it? So it was Usher, who must be 45 now.
Sam, it was the hits.
Nothing but the hits. Nothing but the motherfucking hits. It was, what he did really well was it was like 30-second medley. So he'd like, he
Of his
basically,
own song?
he
It was
managed to
mixed
fit
so
in
well.
everything,
Nice,
basically.
okay.
But gave you what you wanted from every era of Usher. And then, if you know Usher, he actually has a skating brand called Flippers. I think there's one in the UK now. But in Atlanta,
skating
yeah,
brand?
there's a skating community.
Fair
So he's
enough.
like skating to music in Atlanta is massive, and he's from there.
roller skating. Yeah, roller skating.
Yeah.
They said he did a bit of roller
And he did a bit of roller
disco thing.
skating,
Yeah.
like full routine. He was a sweaty mess by the end of
course
it, but
he
he
did,
he earned it.
Yeah, fair.
Brought
Alicia
on Little
Keys
John.
came on looking 10.
Brought on Little John. Alicia Keys is just great, isn't she?
Yeah, there was like all
boy.
these memes come out of like because they're like hugging and it was like how your work husband.
Yeah, it's a bit much.
Yeah,
I'll say
but
that.
God.
It's
So
a
I
read
little
that,
bit much.
Alicia Keys is my number one.
Swizz Beatz has been like just everyone's hating, we're still winning sort of thing, isn't it? That's what he said. He played
Yeah.
it down, so whatever.
But
hey.
Yeah, fair enough. Good on.
I did it. I was really interested in the halftime show and everything like that from a financial eventy perspective, and I found something out that's quite interesting. So, how much massive, probably the biggest gig you can get, arguably, right? Each year is the Super Bowl in terms of talkability around it.
Yeah.
Usher, I'm not going to ask you how much. I'm going to tell you.
Because I was going to say, I
Yeah.
know the answer to that
Yeah.
question,
Yeah.
so yeah.
Usher got paid
Zero.
zilch
Yeah.
to do it, and you might be thinking,
Pays itself though, innit?
yes. So I've got a little bit of information around basically the economics behind this, and it's really, really interesting. So the NFL signs a $50 million sponsorship deal, and it was with Apple this time. It was great. It was sponsored by Apple Music. The artist gets a $15 million production budget. So that's for your stage, your crew hands, all the people that put it together, what it takes to put an event on.
Those are some expensive roller skates.
Yeah, they were. But I mean, I've done done over a decade working in events. The fact that they're able to bring that on the pitch and then take it off in a heartbeat,
Yeah.
it's incredible.
Yes.
It must be a real scary event to try and do.
Because you cannot get it wrong.
No, exactly.
You cannot get it wrong.
So, and actually, some artists have spent their own money to spend more on production. So, The Weeknd spent $7 million of his own money to make it even bigger.
When did The Weeknd do it?
A couple of years ago.
I bet there was just so many lights.
Yeah.
I bet there was so many rights on the weekend, did it?
So you're thinking, why are they putting that $7 million of their own money? Well, obviously the answer is simple. It's exposure, right? So 115 million viewers on average live, but then people like me might probably go on YouTube and watch it afterwards. And, so, Kanye went viral this week for spending $7 million on an ad that made him 20 million in a day in his sales on Yeezy.com. So people are spending a lot of money. And basically, Usher gets a 13-minute, that's like a 30-second ad. Usher gets a 13-minute uninterrupted commercial, essentially.
Yeah. Of all of his hits.
Of all of his hits.
So even if you didn't know the old ones, you got the old ones.
So when Rihanna did it, Fenty beauty searches went up 833%.
Wow.
Right? Wow. Because she touched her makeup up with Fenty logo.
No way.
Travis Scott's performance fee doubled from $500,000 to $1 million in subsequent events, so doubled his fee. J-Lo and Shakira gained 3 million followers straight after the Super Bowl collectively, which can be monetized at that level. So Usher's got a new album dropping this week. I think it's actually out now. Convenient.
I think it was day after, isn't it? Yeah.
And a 24-city arena tour on the horizon. So essentially, it's just guaranteed. That was someone posted that before the Super Bowl, and I've got some data around what's happened since.
Right.
So Spotify streams from Usher are up 550% this week, and people are already listening to him anyway.
Yeah.
And concert ticket prices are now up 40%. And even crazier, TickPick says 38% of the total tickets they have sold for Usher's upcoming tour came during and after 3 hours after the game. So people are literally gone, I like that. I've got to see that live.
Yeah.
So
I hate people so much. just magpies. They want to be told to think. Yeah. You're just like, you didn't already know that you liked Usher.
Yeah. So true. It's very true.
What are we doing? I better buy this now.
yeah, but what I would say though, have you ever been sat there on a hot day and then heard the ice cream van sound and gone, oh, I want an ice cream now? Sometimes you just need a little push.
No, because all it's telling me is the ice cream man is here now and he wasn't before. That's all that's telling me.
And
I already knew that I wanted ice cream. I just didn't have any. But I see what you're saying.
Yeah, it's so good.
Actually, people are so insane. But yeah, it's actually super interesting.
But it's really interesting
Also,
from an
hold on
artist
a minute.
perspective, right?
Yeah.
Don't start changing your ticket prices now, you
Supply and demand, though.
Gougy.
Yeah.
That's basic economics, though, isn't it? So you can't. There is.
You would never like that.
No.
Yeah.
More, sir.
Yeah.
But it's like, if you're selling out, if you sell like 1 million tickets and you charge a £1 extra.
It ain't going to be £1 extra, is it? What did you say it was?
Yeah, it's
a lot of pounds extra.
a lot of pounds. But what I'm saying is, though,
And I work at Walmart and I got to pay an extra $60 to go see Usher now, do I? Thanks.
But it was worth it from watching that.
Well, I watched the halftime show. Maybe I don't need to go watch him live anymore.
Yeah. It was good though.
But anyway,
I enjoyed it.
It was good.
It was
good. And I probably would go watch it.
I mean, I don't know how.
Yeah.
I would see him in it.
I want to go Lovers and Friends Festival, but tickets for that were $500.
Yeah.
And what's that? A singular
just the
day?
festival.
Is that a day event or is it a weekend?
I think it's 2 or 3 days. Yeah.
But first, it's
$500 though for a weekend. Then
it's in Vegas.
That's not crazy.
No.
That's not too crazy.
It's in Vegas already, so you've got to get to Vegas.
so
Then you've
good
got
point.
to
Yeah, good
survive
point.
Vegas for 3 nights doing whatever else you do. As
You
well as
ain't
going to the
surviving
festival.
Vegas.
I've been 3 times. I'm still here, baby.
You're barely still here.
Right. Dean's actually got a very good story on Vegas.
Oh.
So Dean went to Vegas and, in true Dean fashion, attached himself. You know, like the whales that have like the little fish that
Like a little remora.
Hold on a
just
minute.
sit, just sitting there.
Yeah,
Not the
I'm
ones
already
that
resenting what
not
you're
the one-
saying.
No, not the
Yeah,
ones
like
that
a remora fish that sits on the.
Not the
whale.
ones that suck off, but this is the ones that just coast with it. I'm not saying you're a leech, but I'm saying what you do is when you see someone else's energy, you're like, I'll have a bit of that. It's a good thing.
They saw my energy. It
Who was it?
was Mr. T's son. I was partying with Mr. T's son.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Mr. T's son.
Yeah.
Is that how he
And then
introduced
we went to,
himself?
afterwards we went
Is he
outside.
He's lowercase T. He got loads of chains
Junior.
on. T Junior.
Yeah.
Went back to his
strip
house,
club,
didn't you?
Everything. It was good. I went south on the, went back to LA, like the week later, was at his house. His mum cooked
fair.
a big old barbecue.
Oh,
It
that's
was
quite cute then.
Yeah, it was cool, man.
Yeah.
It's a cool little claim to fame.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought the state of around.
Do that again.
I need the Windows sound effect when I'm just crashed. Back up. But yeah, Super Bowl. It's big, but it's not as big as it could be.
So imagine if the World Cup final did a halftime. I mean, weren't they talking about bringing that in?
Yeah,
Actually,
do you not remember Robbie Williams did the kickoff for the Qatar World Cup, and it was like cringing.
Yeah, but that's.
But we don't watch it for that. That's a show that football fans don't want to watch.
Yeah, we don't.
You don't come for the pomp.
We've already had
No,
that.
we actually skip the pomp.
You want to
Whereas
see
they
the-
put it in the middle of the football.
Because also, isn't the football 4 hours long?
But a normal match would be about 3.
But
that
stoppage time and all the other stuff, because
Yeah,
they
but-
turn the watches
Yeah,
off.
the part that I don't get is like, it's a longer half time than normal to just be sitting there in the changing room, going cold, muscles. You must have to do a job as a player to like stay sharp in there.
Keeping it, yeah.
Yeah.
Fair
Anyway, there we go.
They get paid enough.
Super Bowl gets a lot of eyes. Do you know what else gets a lot of eyes? Us 3.
That's
Us
quite
3.
good. That's
You like
quite
that?
good. Yeah. It's not bad.
I was clutching at a segue then, and I got one from the depths.
He found it.
But we need more eyes, don't we?
Yes,
And to get more eyes, Ben, what can the guys do to help us out?
Get more eyes. We want some more likes. We want some more comments, and we want some more subscriptions on YouTube.
Subscribe.
Please, you guys have been killing it recently,
Yeah, it's
and it's
good,
getting
it's good.
better each week. So just keep it going.
Yeah, there we go. And Dean,
And yeah.
how
All
many
you listeners,
stars for our
Spotify.
listeners?
Yes, but sorry. I took the reins for once.
You did.
Hey?
Just didn't tell me you're going to do it.
Oh, yes. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple Music, 5 stars, baby.
There you go. Kanye is no longer on Apple Music, but we are. So what does that tell you?
Wow.
Yeah, replace Kanye with us.
Direct replacement.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
3 vultures over here.
Burning like a candle.
Oh, that's cute. You guys are already synced up with it.
Yeah.
But anyway, we rolled the dice with D Breezy's Laugh of the Week.
D Breezy.
Is this the one you sent me?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the one I sent you.
Do you want to tee
That's
it
the
up?
one I sent you. I was just sort of looking for it then. But anyway, so the tee up to this is at work. One of the boys sent me the video and it was funny. So this is why it's my laugh of the week.
To be fair to him, he has no socials. And
That's
he's
true.
relying on osmosis for these clips.
Yeah.
I wanted to see Osmosis about 10 minutes ago when you talked about energy. Ah.
It's up there now, though.
Osmosis. Mine. Yeah, you. Oh,
My
it's gonna,
sweet
it's gonna
Osmosis.
annoy me all day.
Osmosis Jones, remember that?
Osmosis Jones. It's a good show, by the way.
Yeah.
Sorry, mate.
I think, sorry. We'll just talk about the clip afterwards, I suppose. That's how it usually
But
goes.
you don't want to set tell the audio description of what's about to
Yeah,
happen.
you're usually good at this.
You're just gonna hear what it is and then we can discuss it, I guess.
Okay, so the caption is people in the 80s react to new laws against drinking
There it
and
is.
driving.
There it is.
You're welcome.
Still, any attempt to restrict drinking and driving here is viewed by some as downright undemocratic.
It's kind of getting common when a fella can't put in a hard day's work, put in 11, 12 hours a day, and then get in your truck and at least drink 1 or 2 beers.
They're making it laws where you can't drink when you want to. You have to wear a seatbelt when you're driving. And pretty soon we're going to become this country.
Still, any attempt to restrict
The
drinking.
leap there.
Also, she's 15 with a baby.
Yeah.
What?
With a baby that she clearly doesn't care about.
Pretty soon we're gonna be a communist country because you've got to wear a seatbelt.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. The
But
leap.
it's amazing when how people confuse loss of liberty with, what
What,
like
becoming communist.
yeah,
Or-
essentially
Yeah.
because that's 80s when communism was the big talking point though. To be fair,
And so in the 80s, how much were they drinking and driving?
yeah, but Americans drink and drive
Yeah.
because they'll have like nightclubs like off on a main like road.
Yeah,
and you're thinking, well, there's no taxis in here, and then the car park's empty in the morning.
The car park's right outside the club, isn't it?
Yeah, they
Don't
have
all
a
just
car
get out
park
and just get in the-
outside. You imagine
That's been
how
brilliant.
twisted we've been on some nights out, just getting in a car and then going, get in, boys. Don't put your seatbelt on, you commie. Let's go.
Yeah. Don't worry. Uncle Sam might want you to wear a seatbelt, but in my ride, you can do what you like.
Uncle Sam.
Look, no hands. In Khrushchev.
Khrushchev.
But yeah, it's bad out there. It's it's just a given.
Yeah.
And the penalty is nowhere near as bad as over here.
Nowhere near severe enough. It's an interesting one because, like you say, it's the loss of liberty equals X. But every generation, that new loss of liberty is a different thing, right?
Yeah.
So now, what would we be saying?
Well, Dean, ask Dean. He's the conspiracy theory.
I was going to say, you probably are the expert for this. What would you say is your current loss of liberty, the thing that you're facing now that you think people would be able to look back on in a few years? Oh, go on.
20 mile an hour zones. Have you done any driving?
Yeah.
It's
In
actually,
London
they're
now-
actually difficult to stay under 20.
It's
Driving
unbelievable.
is just forget it. Just
Yeah.
forget driving. So they were worried about wearing a seatbelt. I don't even need to worry about wearing a seatbelt because I'm not going to drive a car because
Yeah.
there's a camera everywhere.
Driving in London is a nightmare.
20 mile an hour zones all over London. It's disgusting.
I get it by school
Yeah, for sure.
during
Yeah,
school
yeah,
times.
Cool,
I get
cool.
that. But then when you're on some roads that have like cycle lanes as well, there's no pedestrians near you.
But now you can't. So they've got the PCN lanes where now you can't go down that road
Yep.
between those hours, otherwise you
Yeah.
get a ticket anyway.
I've been
So-
done by a few of those. Yeah, very nice.
I'm trying to think of a non-driving one that I can think of. I can't really think of anything. Let us know if you can think of a loss of liberty
Yeah,
that's
loss of liberties.
annoyed you recently. But I think, yeah, because you're right. Because then the next generation, that's just the rules.
That's just the rules, and they'll be saying, why were they exaggerating so much
yeah.
over this?
The having to take the vaccine was considered by a lot of people as a loss of liberty.
yeah.
Ooh,
That was a pretty
that's
big
actually
one.
quite a good example.
Yeah, I'm on the fence about that one because I think that anti-vaxxers got a bit of a bad rep because they got lumped in together with these type of people. Like,
Yeah.
you can't make me get a vaccine.
Yeah, I'm a
but
communist.
actually, if I'm
You're a
like, I just
communist.
don't want something in my body. It's not saying it's not saying that I think it's a conspiracy. It's just saying that I would rather. Like I didn't get it because I'm with my PTSD I was really bad with injections and I tried 3 times, I couldn't get it, and but like I got COVID and I was fine, just got over it.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't mind getting COVID, like that's my choice. I know that some people are like, oh, you could spread it, but like I had friends that got it and spread it to me.
Well, yeah. Also, once you had it, you could still get it anyway.
Yeah, it all kind of
it was
unraveled,
kind of a
didn't
bit. It's all bizarre. The communication.
The
around it was
conspiracy
terrible.
theory is strong and true in all of this.
But
so don't
also
worry.
with the vax, though, I think it's too macro an issue, and everyone had different opinions on it.
Yeah.
And I think anyone that had too strong an opinion either way was a bit blinkered, and it
Yeah,
got,
for
it got
sure.
a bit nasty, didn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
it
sure.
did, it did.
People just like a reason to hate each other over something like this.
Yeah.
divide and
But
conquer, my friend.
I guess driving home after work with a beer is quite a nice idea if it didn't affect your drive. Like that, if you think about it, right, you've had a hard day doing a manual job, which sounded like you did. Got in his truck. You're driving with a bit of music on. It's Friday, and you've had that would be a nice,
nice Friday feeling,
So to have that
and
taken
take-
away from
yeah.
you would be a bit annoying.
But do you know why that took it away? Because some people couldn't just have one and drive,
yeah,
could they?
exactly.
That's why
So
we
the
can't-
majority is getting punished because of the minority.
Which always happens, though, right?
Yeah.
That's why we can't have nice things.
But then there'll be someone watching who's
Why can't we have nice things?
with someone watching. One of us probably knows someone that's been a victim of drink driving, and then you think the total opposite way, don't you?
Yeah, yeah.
So,
That's true. That's true.
Yeah,
in the end, we're all going to live in the movie Equilibrium. You ever seen that one?
yeah, it was not great, was it? It's just Matt Damon being pap. You tell
No,
me.
that's Elysium. But yeah, we'll talk about
yeah, you're right.
yeah.
Sorry.
That's
What's Equilibrium then?
Equilibrium's that mad old one with Sean Bean and Christian Bale, where they've
Wow.
basically just
That's a
outlawed
pair, innit? Pair of them together.
They've outlawed any and all forms of art, and everyone just wears grey.
Yeah,
trudges
yeah.
along.
That's where we're going.
That's I obviously have made a bit of a leap from drink
Yeah,
driving,
yeah.
to that. But that's the end game, right?
Talking of removing art, did you see the thing this week that there's a Russian man, I believe he's Russian, he's got a Russian sounding name, so apologies if he's from a similar country, but he essentially has held hostage $45 million worth of fine art in a vault that has a dead man switch on it.
Oh, damn.
And it's to try and get Julian Assange out of prison.
Oh, a Batman villain. Cool.
And he's
That's
done
actually
interviews.
super interesting.
He's done interviews like, well, yeah, I think it's right that like.
But whose is the art though? Who's he took it off?
I don't think he's stolen the art. I think he's bought it, but it's more of this is a shame for humanity to lose these not priceless.
Okay.
But
Oh, that's an
It's
interesting.
kind of
it's kind of Robin
it's a bit
Hood-y.
complex, that isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. But the people that want to release him could go, I don't know about that art. Blow it up. I don't care. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
You've got still
yeah,
got Assange,
yeah, you
who is
bought it.
wrongfully imprisoned in my eyes, by the way. for this
Yeah,
film.
but he's got information on a lot of people, hasn't he? That's the problem.
Assange.
Yeah. But yeah, I found that
I bet
really
he wished
interesting.
he'd stolen art instead, didn't he?
Yeah.
Because he wouldn't be in jail. Anyway,
Probably, yeah, exactly. But Ben,
Yes, me.
We have a new segment that we're going to trial this week.
Yeah, we haven't quite got a jingle for it yet.
No,
but
I quite like the name that we got though.
yeah, ask your uncles.
There you
That's
go.
us.
Yeah.
I guess we're of appropriate uncle age. Yeah, ask your uncles.
I'm an uncle.
Ask your uncle. Your uncle.
We will be asking for submissions from you guys as
Yeah.
well, because we would love to get some real world examples. The ones that I've got today are just from people that I know, so I've just thrown them straight in there. But in the future, get them in the comments. Send them to us directly on. We could do it on like TikTok. We could do it on
Anything.
anything
Anything where you watch us, we'll see it. If it's a comment, if it's a DM on Instagram, I see it all.
Ask us anything.
And anything. Like, Sam, why do they give you tuna in brine and just
Sunflower
spring
oil.
water and sunflower water? Why are the options, Sam? And I could go, well, pull up a pew, my friend.
Yeah, let's have a sit down and chat.
It could be Sam and Dean. How do you
Why is MX equals C or whatever it is?
and we're not saying we're always going to have the right
MX
answer
equals
either.
C.
What is it?
E equals MC squared. MX
There you
equals
go.
C.
But it could be anything. It could be a dilemma.
Yeah.
It could, which I think you've got one of them.
Yeah.
It could be.
Yeah, send us a couple of dilemmas.
Could
as
be
well,
an
actually,
open
that'd be
question. No dumb questions here. In fact, dumb questions encouraged.
good.
Yeah. And we will have a bit of fun
enough.
with it, by the way.
It's
We'll have
a
a bit
fun
of fun
segment.
with it.
Yeah. We don't want it to be too heavy.
But we're not going to slag you off.
Yeah.
We'll just rib you a little bit gently.
We'll keep it anonymous.
Yeah, fair. Right, I'm going to jump off the bridge here with the first one, and it is a friend copies my style, and it's driving me nuts. So you got an idea of what this looks like.
Okay.
So a friend and I, both mid-30s females, have always had similar styles, but I've always just chalked it up to be a coincidence, or maybe that we have a slight influence on each other, which is just kind of a cute thing. However, I've started to pay a little bit closer attention to this now, and it seems like this is actually an active effort on her part. So she literally buys everything that I buy. If I bought some new shoes, within a week, she's got those shoes. If we go shopping together, she'll follow me around and she'll look at everything that I've looked at in the store. So
And then pick up the ones she's thrown down.
Yeah,
and,
the little
put them in the bag.
discards.
I'd be using misdirection, dropping the shoulder.
well, here, listen to this. Then.
Michael Jackson jacket.
She's now created this habit of hiding the things that she wants to buy under things that she doesn't want to buy, so the girl can't see it until
there's
she
your
gets to the
misdirection.
checkout. So there is the misdirection, so that's very good. It's going too far now. I really hate it, and I don't feel excited to wear anything anymore because I feel like there's a chance she will be wearing the same thing. Okay.
Fair enough.
So is it not kind of a little bit of a compliment?
I think it's still super cute. It's a nice thing. She wants to look
Also,
like you.
just tell her or ask her or speak to her
Yeah.
about it.
I think
God's sake.
the root of it is cute, but it would get irritating.
Yeah,
Like, imagine if I started turning up to this podcast with short shorts on, with my legs out every time. You'd get so annoyed that I was stealing your thunder.
I wouldn't. I'd like the fact that we were all together in it.
Yeah. Your legs would look a lot nicer colour than mine right now. In the bleak midwinter.
I'm just trying to imagine me in a Ben outfit, what you're wearing right now. If I put that on,
We all very much have our own styles, don't we? It's very
I think
different.
you'd look cool like this.
no, I'm not saying it's not cool. I just, when some things just don't suit, like a hat.
Yeah.
I can't wear hats, right? It's just not a thing.
You got
that
too much hair.
Probably for that reason,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
just don't think I look good in a hat, So
It would get annoying at that, I think, especially from a
reckon it
female
starts to-
perspective, like where it's men.
Yeah.
Realistically, like you could be, out with 10 guys. You're all going to be wearing some sort of similar trouser and a t-shirt or polo. Do you know what I mean? There's the spectrum is limited,
Shades
even if
of
they're
the
different
same
colours
thing.
and brands,
Yeah.
whatever. Where our blueprint is kind of similar. Women is a bit different. So I guess when it's very similar, I once posted a picture. I will put it up if I can find it. And I was at a bar in Clapham watching. I think I was with Joe watching a football match, and it was like there's about 4 girls at the bar, and I think my caption was something along the lines of like, "Oh, there's no other girl like you'll never find a girl like me."
Yeah,
and they all had the exact same outfit on. And I was like, God.
You see those images roll out every year, like all the girls in like a Starbucks, all wearing the same, like blue jeans, Ugg boots, white top or whatever. Like, yeah, I do get
it's
it.
also like if you go to a party and you wear the same thing as somebody else, it's a bit like
See,
it's a bit of a faux.
I
seen as a
hate it.
faux
I
pas,
don't think
innit? But,
I don't think I've ever really cared about that.
No, but I feel like,
guess.
as for
I
women,
have.
like Sam was saying, like for women, it might be a thing. So obviously
Yeah,
now
that's
she's
true.
getting annoyed because if she wants to go to a party or whatever, and or go out to somewhere fancy or whatever they
And her
want to do.
mate's just like
And
biting
mate's
her
just
style.
turning up into the same thing.
Well, she just wants to look like you. She just wants to.
Yeah.
She wants to have that. Maybe so. There's a few elements to it. Like, so I thought, yes, you thought it was cute at the start, but because you've decided to start actively paying more attention to it, so you've kind of created that situation for yourself. Why don't you just go back to when you thought it was cute and just enjoy that?
It's all in your mind.
You've just hyper focused on this thing now, and you don't like it anymore.
Yeah.
Like you've created your own unhappiness in that to a certain degree. I feel.
I could see it getting annoying though, if I'm honest. I'm trying to find.
You would get annoyed by that. I think.
Yeah, I would. If it was like these trainers, for example, they're a very. It's not a.
If we wore them next week,
Yeah,
like, what's
I'm like,
going on here?
I'd give you a little bit of. I'd give you a bit of banter for it, but if it was like, then you got this exact T-shirt and wore it with it, that's when it starts to become.
I just also.
I'm trying to find this video.
Why would
that's
I
really good
do
for
that
this.
anyway? You know what I mean? Why would I go out my way to do that?
Well, there's that funny thing. I sent you both this, and I'll send it to you, Sam. You can put it on the put it in the edit. But that picture of me and my brother wearing our
that's
Judge
amazing.
Dredd t-shirts
Yeah.
when we were kids. Well, that's when it was fun and
Well,
cute,
yeah,
I guess.
I mean,
But
when you're young
you're
as well,
grown adults, you probably just don't like it anywhere near as much.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Here, I found it.
Look at the timing on that.
Look at this. This is. He's not like other boys is the caption, and it's just funny because it's Irish as well.
We've got another pair of 95.
Everyone's hands
I've got another pair of 95.
Everyone talking like it's. I want to see me picture. I'm having a picture of this, you know.
Still in chat.
I love that he's already
One
maxed
pair
out
of-
his picture.
Halfway through. Yeah, so good. So what's our unclely advice then? You're saying put up with it.
No, do you know what? I will concede because I do think you guys have pointed out it's a fair point. It probably would get annoying after an amount of time. So then just have a nice little conversation and say, look, I used to think this was cute too, but it's maybe just going a little bit too far.
Yeah.
Would you reckon?
Yeah, you've got to say something, innit? There's no, especially if it's annoying you.
And she's
say
a
it,
mate. Like I wouldn't hold to him. I think we have a friendship where I could tell you anything.
Yeah,
And you do.
Yeah.
But that's better, right? You know.
Yeah, for sure.
Also, find something more important in your life, by the way.
Yeah.
There we go.
Sorry,
Ben's got
but-
the best advice always.
Right, I've got another one. This is a little bit more relationshipy, so just bear with me on this, chaps. So I, 31 female, currently dating a guy. Let's call him Jay. You know,
You hide it well.
Hidden it really well for these years. Dating this 32-year-old male. Let's call him Jay. We've been dating for a little over a year. Things are going really well, except for one thing. This is a pretty big thing. He isn't divorced. I'm not sure that he even wants to be. We began dating last year in 2022, and he told me that he was, sorry, obviously not last year, but he told me he was in the process of getting the divorce and that it was going to be finalised end of the year. Cut to this year, he hasn't even started the process.
Yeah.
Does this sound a bit familiar, by the way?
Yeah.
I heard one of these stories before. And it still needs to be processed. They don't own any property together and they don't have any kids. So I thought this process would be super duper simple and super
definitely.
quick. We spend every weekend together, call each other at least weekly, have met each other's families, travelled together, etc., etc. I can't help but feel like a backup plan. Any advice is appreciated.
You a side hoe.
Unfortunately, that's what it sounds like.
He's getting his cake and eating it right now.
Because
From a man who likes to eat cake.
and eat it too. Yeah, he has to have cake and eat it too. So yeah, that's what it sounds like to me. Unfortunately,
How many men that are married, because it's not something you can really hide marriage. So like, I feel like once you're having that affair, almost coming clean, and how many men then play the card of, but I'm not happy and we're getting a divorce as the deflector.
yes.
You know, you found out I'm married, but I still want this fun fling.
Yeah.
But
And also-
I'm not going to leave my wife because she's my wife.
yeah.
Why would I do that?
Yeah.
Don't be crazy.
Yeah. This is this.
And then she's going to hate me when she finds this out.
Yeah.
Why do I want that?
And the paperwork, the ag, the admin.
Yeah. Maybe the legal fees. Who knows?
This is this and that is that. Never the two shall.
Never the two shall meet.
Yes.
I did try and play devil's advocate with that because you're right to a certain degree. The legal costs apparently can be quite expensive, especially depending on what your geography is.
We want prenup. We want prenup. Yeah.
So I thought that might be the case, but honestly, the story just stinks to high heaven of he's living two lives.
Yeah.
A bit weird that he's introduced to the family.
And you're too trusting on what he says as well.
That's the thing. Yeah, you're just taking it all in.
I did this once, and you know this. I got with a girl that was in a relationship and then was with her afterwards. And then what a surprise when the thing that set up someone else.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things at the time you probably think, oh, I'm the special one. It's not her behaviour. I'm just irresistible.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm just better than that last guy was. Yeah.
I'm just a regal looking muffin in the shop that looks better than the other ones. She's a hungry girl who will stop at nothing to eat whatever muffin she feels like. But you do, though, you kind of kid yourself a little bit. And then afterwards, it's like, well, the warning signs were there.
It was all there, black and white. Oh, what's the Gene Wilder Charlie and Chocolate Factory speech that we did the other day? Oh,
you get nothing.
You get nothing.
Yeah.
I said good day, sir.
Auf Wiedersehen. Good day, sir.
Yeah.
But it was all there. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
And she's just kidding herself. Because also, you know, let's not be too harsh on her. She might really like the guy. She might have caught feelings. Probably has by the sound of it.
Yeah, she's in there, right?
So, you know, we said this last week when you're in that unrequited love stage, or not unrequited, but that pedestal-y bit, your mind plays tricks on you.
Doesn't it just?
But yeah.
So advice would be...
get out.
Run a mile.
Yeah.
To be fair.
If he's cheating and lying to her, he'll cheat and lie to you.
Exactly.
And even if he doesn't, at least you know that's in his wheelhouse and that isn't someone you want to be around.
Yeah. A year's time, he's going to be telling someone else that he's getting divorced from you. So,
And also, you reminded me, I've got an entire red velvet cake in the fridge that I've left. And I was, God damn.
And you're going back to Birmingham
I'm not going to be around to eat it. Yeah.
Oh, well, do you want to give me your keys?
Yeah, you can have it. Just make me think of cake.
the whole time, you know, in his head. You're like Holmes' brain. You're unbelievable, aren't you? You don't care this woman is on crying.
She put it on herself.
Oh.
No, she
yeah.
maybe didn't. No.
I love how he buys a full red velvet cake just for the future, not for an occasion. Just, I'll have that.
Just good to have one hanging around, I guess.
Your metabolism is nuts, isn't it?
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
be fair,
You're getting away with murder, to be honest.
I'm working all day.
You're that guy who wants a beer in his truck. You just want a red velvet cake at home. If they took that away from you,
there's your loss of liberty. There you go.
You'd be pitchforking out, wouldn't you?
That's really what's going to get me on the street, isn't it? Take my cake away.
Well, that was Ask Your Uncles. That was
Ask Your Uncles.
I think that's kind of we like that.
Nice little start off. I feel like we gave eventually some half decent advice.
But please ask us anything. Funny the better.
No
anyone
taboos.
in any love triangles out there? Anybody?
Again, anonymous.
Anonymously.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's it. We've got three male opinions that you might want to hear from a female point of view. If you don't want to hear a male opinion, you just want to choose something funny between
Ask your
us.
friend who's got the same style as you to tell you.
Yeah, there you
She
go.
probably thinks the same.
I've got something now that I've been itching to do for a while. So
And it's all just a little bit of history repeating.
rev it. Right, historic hilarity. Here we go. So
bigging this one up.
I big this one up. That's probably my downfall. Like I big things up. Do you know what it is? I get too excited. I want to share things. I can't just do it at the time.
It's infectious energy. We like it.
It is. But this guy, right? So last week we did Tycho Brahe, who was the Danish astrologer who had the golden nose.
Golden schnoz.
And he had a pet elk and a little person clairvoyant in his court.
I forgot that he was a clairvoyant, yeah.
Yeah. And so what I've done this week as well, what was that?
Didn't see that coming.
I'm getting the word nonce. I've got one here, right? Again, a similar profile to last week in terms of it's a biography. And I was originally searching for the biggest lies told, and then I found across this story. And this is about a man called, the thing is, I'm not even sure of his name. No one's really sure of it because he told so many lies in his life. But I'm going to say his name, Victor Lustig, con artist, more affectionately known as the man who sold the Eiffel Tower twice.
think I know a bit about this. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You might know a
Name
little
rings a
bit.
bell.
I probably don't know as much as you got. Yeah, look at his face.
Right then. So this is great. Then this is just like the preface of this story.
The preface.
Federal agents described him as elusive as a puff of cigarette smoke and as charming as a young girl's dream.
God, putting them two together.
Yeah, relax. Write poetry on your own time.
Agent Moss.
Yeah, get back to your work.
Yeah, he's going to run for 40 years.
You're so elusive. You're just too busy writing prose. What are you doing?
I do like it when people take their job seriously, though. That's beautiful. Elusive as a puff of cigarette smoke and as charming as a young girl's dream. It's nice, isn't it? I love someone who's got to say that about
Didn't
me.
need to add the cigarette part, is it? You know what I mean? Puff of smoke's elusive enough.
Well, let's get to the end of the story and let's see if you agree with this federal agent, okay? So, born in 1890 in Bohemia, which is modern-day Czechia, formerly Czech Republic, or was he? Because he claimed he's got 40 different aliases. He's claimed to be the son of a mayor, son of a nobleman, son of an extremely poor peasant who lived in a cave. This is kind of the yarn
Keep them guessing.
that Victor Lustig spins. So you never really know where you stand with him. All we do know is he's roughly born in Bohemia, which is a province, I say now, in Czechia, and he's roughly born around 1890. That's what we do know.
Okay.
So he was local lad, bit of a slick talker, got himself into a bit of trouble, bit of a ladies' man early on, so much so that when he was 19, he got scarred in the eye because of a jealous man of the woman that he was sleeping with. Yeah.
That should have narrowed down who he was, really, shouldn't it? You've got a massive scar on your face.
Yeah, true.
Oh, what, you and whoever else he said it, 40 other guys have got the
He
same
lives in a cave. It's not him.
That's old Ice Scar Caveman.
God's sake.
But, you know, if that's happening at 19, you're setting yourself up right. But he didn't learn his lesson, did he? He was a smooth talker, as I say, so much so that he spoke several languages, including English, French, and Italian, which is impressive.
Yep.
And he started his life of dishonesty. He moved to Paris when he was a very young man. Paris, obviously, the city at this time was during the Belle Epoque era. This is when Paris was like the romantic part of Paris. It was the most happening place, arts, culture, life. Like, you know, how New York did a similar thing when it was kind of going through it. Paris at this time was the place to be in Europe. So he started his life of dishonesty as a pickpocket, as many do, in a busy, hustly-bussy city. But he graduated to burglary, followed by street hustling and confidence tricks, especially card tricks. A true crime magazine said Lustig could make a deck of cards do everything but talk. Again.
Why is everyone so good? Why is everyone so poetic? This guy.
It's great. So he was kind of doing low-level crime in Paris around this point, but he left Paris to be a nautical conman. So between 1909...
That means a conman of the sea, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Just for people out there.
A modern-day pirate, if you will.
Yeah, okay.
So between 1909 and 1914, he went back and forth from New York to France on ships very similar to what the Titanic would have done.
What a life.
And obviously, if you've seen the Titanic, that upper class area, that's the main people that are travelling. It's a hefty fee, and they're all got money. And what also do they have? They have time, because it weren't a quick trip.
Yep.
So he would go on these journeys, create aliases, in bed with these upper echelons of society, and by the time they got to New York, he'd rip them off somehow.
That's essentially what DiCaprio did in Titanic anyway, really.
Yeah, I guess.
The ship sank before he could get away with it.
Yeah, fair enough. But he did it in pursuit of love, didn't he?
Yeah.
So this is where he created his most dominant persona, Count Victor Lustig. Just add a count. Yeah. Count. I mean, have you ever met a count?
Counts should wear capes, shouldn't they, I think?
Maybe he did. He hid the scar with it. So he was a nobleman from Bohemia in this story, right? And he changed his speech, changed his mannerisms to appear wealthy, yet not boastful. So he actually then went on to write the 10
Commandments.
like 10 golden rules of the con. And one of them is to be confident but not be boastful, and it's all like ways in which you can
give yourself away.
So he's like the
Yes,
the university for Conman.
Yes,
basically.
universities of Conman and universities of card tricks. So still at this point, he's traveling back and forth. He's still in his early 20s. So again, not dissimilar from DiCaprio. Maybe that was a little bit of a where they got some of the influence from. So he would say he was a Broadway producer when Broadway was just the thing, right? In search of investors. And one of these, and he would con them and get investors and things like that. But again, this is still fairly low level stuff until he bumped into a guy called Nicky Arnstein, who I believe has a movie out about him. I'll put it up on screen now. I can't remember it now, but Barbara Streisand was in the movie. It was a con man, husband and wife.
Right.
And this is the based on this real guy who met, he was a little bit older, and he helped him graduate, helped the Count graduate into the big leagues. They created this scam called the Romanian money box. Have you ever heard of this?
Romanian money box.
No.
So they created this box that was... Sorry, dry mouth. So the Romanian money box was a box, physical box, but it was really over the top. Loads of dials, gold, detail, but it's all a bit of a ruse, right? So this box looked like a crazy contraption that could do things. And it was perfect for this con that they set up. It's a genius con. So the box allegedly could duplicate any banknote, so much so that the banknote would be real and could be used and put into a bank. So the con was Count Lustig would go to the bank, get a load of $100 bills, all had consecutive serial numbers, change the serial numbers so they're all the same, and then he'd have these $100 bills and they were real.
Yeah.
He'd put one in there, turn it round, give it a bit of a, tap it on the head. And
is this your dollar bill?
with his wand. I made that bit up. And then 6 hours it would take for the $100 bill to be duplicated. And it's in this 6 hours he would wine and dine the people, get them talking. After 6 hours, lo and behold, it's duplicated. Then the con was it needed 12 hours rest before it could do it again, which gave him time to get out of town.
People were really thick, weren't they?
Yeah, but you got to think this is an era of there's
all happened.
No facts checking.
He's the first guy doing it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
exactly. And what was great is he would then take them to the bank and check it in, and the bank would be like, "Yeah, it's a genuine note."
Yeah.
So then he'd sell them the box for $10,000, so they could have that whenever they wanted.
And poof, like a piece of cigarette smoke, he was gone. Yeah, I couldn't see him again.
So he turned $100 that he probably gave him into $10,000. And it took $10,000 back in, we're talking turn of the 20th century.
Because people are thinking they're getting like an infinite money glitch.
Of course they are.
Wow, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And hold on, so...
But you can't report it as a scam because you're trying to be a counterfeiter.
Also, he's got about 18 hours to get rid before they find out that it hasn't worked, hasn't it? Do you know what I mean? Because of the 12-hour the turnaround.
12 hours, yeah. Again, why would anything take 12 hours to recover? Yeah. But brilliant. Anyway, so he was arrested.
He's giving himself time to get out of the scene, though, isn't he?
So he was arrested over 40 times for little things here and there, and he managed to bribe or sweet talk his way out every single time. So this guy's got a silver tongue. So he was getting a bit hot around him in America, so he moved back to Paris in 1925, where he hatched his craziest scam of them all to sell the Eiffel Tower. Ludicrous, right? Bit of a background story.
Did you get
for
that radio tower last week?
He's still at it.
Yes, if only. Maybe it's a descendant of Victor Lustig. So the backstory around the Eiffel Tower, we now know it is a global landmark, right? However, at the time, it was a temporary structure for the World Fair in Paris. Supposed to be taken down by 1909, and we're like 1925 now.
Yeah.
And some Parisians didn't actually like it because it's a bit of an eyesore. You got to think it's iron. It's very compared to the beautiful Paris. It's all one level and old buildings. So the backstory is that some prisons wanted it gone. It was really expensive to maintain. So Count Lustig created this lie that the French government wanted it gone, and he basically forged documents posing as the French government, offering the sale to scrap metal companies. So what he did was he forged these documents, sent it out to the 5 biggest scrap metal dealers in Paris, gathered them in a room, and basically told them that it was going to be a pitching process to buy the scrap metal from the Eiffel Tower because we want it gone.
Yeah.
It's too expensive. It's an eyesore. We want it gone with your help. And you could be involved in this. What he did this is why I love this guy. It's
He's smart, man.
but it's smarts on smarts on smarts,
Yeah.
and you'll see why. He then targeted the smallest of all the 5 scrap metal dealers, who he knew was probably the one that needed the money the most.
Yeah.
Organised a secret meeting and said, "Look, I'll give it to you because I like you, but what you've got to do me is you've got to give me a bit of extra on the side, a little bit of a backhander."
Yeah.
The guy agreed because he thought, "This is amazing. This is going to take me to the next level. I could be the guy that bought the Eiffel Tower." So not only has he sold the Eiffel Tower and made money, he's also gone, "I'll get an extra commission for it as well." And then poof, disappeared. And the guy was too embarrassed to report it, as you would.
Yeah.
You're going to say, "I bought an Eiffel Tower off someone." Yeah. You're an idiot. So what do you do when you've got the most perfect con that's worked?
You do it again.
You run it back.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you
So
do.
he did it twice to someone else. This time, though, it was reported and he had to flee back to America. Okay?
How much? Do you know how much he sold it for?
No, I don't know. I don't know.
But it's impossible to find.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So he went back to America, and during his time in America, he even had the cojones to scam Al Capone himself. So he took took 10 grand of Al Capone's money, put it on a sure bet stock. The stock, he basically just put it in a high interest bank for like a year, made interest on it, went back to Al Capone and said, "Look, the stock crashed, but I'm an honest man. I don't want to mug you off. Here's your money back." Al Capone then gave him half the money back as, "You're honest. Here you go."
Yeah.
Like, he's gone from like innocent rich people to trying Al Capone. Like, you don't want it.
Just pushing his luck.
Anyone and everyone's getting it. Yeah.
So after this period in America, he made over $1 million of counterfeited banknotes, which doesn't sound like much, but we're talking in the Great Depression as well, where, so much so that federal agents were actually scared this would affect the US economy, which is nuts. One man doing a forgery can affect the US economy.
How are you forging that many?
So
how was he forging that many notes?
Yeah.
Jesus.
That's insane.
Yeah.
He must have had some type of printing press or something
Yeah.
that was doing it en
The
masse,
factory,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. So this then has got the suspicion of federal agents, and then they started getting involved, and they actually arrested him. But always one step ahead and never wanted to stay in one place for too long. He escaped, and the escape is brilliant, right? He realised that there was no one counting how many bed sheets people got. So he did, this is probably where so many cartoons have riffed it from. He tied the bed sheets together, abseiled out through a certain window, and as he did it, there's an eyewitness story that's been fact-checked as true. As he did it, there was some people outside the prison watching him. So when he got down, he took his handkerchief out his pocket and started cleaning the windows as if he was a window cleaner. Hate him or love him, he's got style. This guy.
Yeah.
His mind is just working all the time.
Yeah.
Isn't
He's
it?
ready for anything.
He runs off into the darkness. He's on the run for around, I don't know how long, but I think within a year, he gets recaptured after a dramatic car chase. And then he gets sentenced in 1935 to 20 years on Alcatraz, where he's reunited with Al Capone.
Not good.
But Al Capone didn't know he'd been ripped off. And Al Capone at this point was so riddled with syphilis that he was a shadow of his former self.
Oh, right. Stop you going after anyone, that one.
Yeah, oh yeah. So Alcatraz was his...
Sorry, mate, I can't fight you. I've got syphilis.
Yeah. I'd normally behead you, but right now the syphilis is crippling me.
Flaring.
But yeah, Victor was in Alcatraz, and for the final 3 years of his life, he complained about poor health, and they just thought he was working another
up to his
angle.
old tricks,
but actually,
yeah.
this time, Victor was telling the truth, and he unfortunately died in 1947 of pneumonia.
Oh, not good.
And on his death certificate, they had to put his profession, and it was apprentice salesman, which I thought was quite a nice little tip of the iceberg type thing of all his cons. So that is Count Victor Lustig.
Yeah.
Fair play to him. I'm not really big on fraudsters, but yeah, good lad. He got away with a lot there.
I know people are still doing fraud and conning and all that now, but just the way you could do it back in the day.
It's a bit more romantic, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not romantic anymore.
You know, you could print money and they didn't have the infrastructure or the surveillance to like squash it. You know what I mean?
And if you're dumb enough to buy the Eiffel Tower and a Romanian money box, quite frankly, you kind of... And it sounds like they had money to,
Yes.
you know, it wasn't robbing poor people.
You used to be
You'd
able
have
to,
had a laugh today these times with pyramid schemes. And
you used to be able to sell people real estate on the moon. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
You
yeah,
just-
yeah.
You just can't get away with
Snake
stuff now.
oil, isn't
Yeah,
it?
people used to do that all the time.
It's,
You could have your very own piece of the moon.
But
Bring
it
some
makes you
cheese.
think around that time when you had these people going from state to state, traveling, like
Yeah.
people must have lied so much.
Yeah, yeah,
This
for
idea
sure.
that men aren't men anymore. They used to have morals and they used to be gentlemen.
Oh, unscrupulous back
Yeah.
in the day.
You're joking. They were getting away with murder back in the day.
Literal murder.
Having
yeah.
3 wives wherever they went. And then when the wives they had, they could knock about as much as they wanted.
Yeah.
And now we're the bad guys. Look
Ballad
at
of
us.
Buster Scruggs, I think, has a good few little
Yeah,
things
yeah.
like that, doesn't it?
But I love that story. I
That's
thought
a
it
really
was
good story. Yeah,
Fun
Yeah,
little,
nice.
appreciate
yeah,
that.
what a life
yeah,
he lived.
Yeah, yeah.
Bloody hell.
I like these guys. And you're right, by the way.
What a movie.
To make some movies out of these.
Yeah.
Who would you think could play him? I said Austin Butler because I thought he had because it got to be someone kind of boyish.
Well, when he brought up DiCaprio earlier, because it kind of screams of that. First of all, that DiCaprio film with Tom Hanks.
Talented Mr. Ripley.
That's what I've been thinking, but I don't think it's that. is
No,
it?
it's Catch Me If You Can.
Yes. Why was I making the
Why
same
did this-
mistake
yeah.
as that? That's
Similar
the Matt
to Era
Damon
as well.
movie, isn't it?
Yeah.
But
Catch Me If You Can.
Me If You Can, and then Titanic, obviously. So DiCaprio, a young DiCaprio would have been perfect
Young
for
DiCaprio,
it. but
yeah.
Perfect. Austin Butler is maybe a good shout for that now.
Yeah.
Or Jake Gyllenhaal. I just like Jake
Yeah,
Gyllenhaal, so
yeah.
I'll put him in anything.
There's a new thing he's coming out in, actually, isn't there?
Roadhouse.
Yeah. Oh, that thing I sent you.
Oh my!
With,
Conor McGregor.
Conor McGregor's in it.
Gonna be.
Is that going to feature
terrible.
on Ben's
I'm watching it.
Cinema
Oh,
Club?
yeah. No, because it's going to be awful. But I'll watch it and maybe I'll let you guys know how it is.
Yeah, please do.
Jesus.
Maybe I could actually go watch that movie, actually.
Yeah, we'll watch that.
Yeah,
McGregor
why
looks
not?
like
It looks
he's
slapstick,
just
doesn't
being
it?
himself.
Yeah. So that was Historic Hilarity this week.
Yeah, really enjoyed that one. Well
Mad.
done, mate.
What a story.
Dean,
Hello.
send us off. Finish the episode
Send you off.
with some CTF news.
CTF, baby.
True the fat news this week. Okay, so I found 2 stories from the news this week, and they're both animal related. So I
Yes.
thought I'd put them together, and they're both about animals. Very different stories, anyway. But right, first one: pigeon suspected of being a Chinese spy cleared by Indian police.
I think I saw the headline. Well, pigeons got previous in the World War II.
Yeah, well, the suspected Chinese spy pigeon was detained for 8 months before being released into the wild.
I'm picturing,
You'll never make me talk,
Great Escape, where he's got the tennis ball, the baseball, and he's catching
Just
it
chicken run all
in
over
detention.
It's organised. They're released into the wild and send it back to
He's
China.
just doing that back and forth in his cell, going back.
You thought they were going to send him back to
We
China?
have ways of making you talk. This is the pigeon.
Well, we're putting loads of breadcrumbs behind a sheet of glass. I need it.
The pigeon's ordeal began in May when it was captured near a port in Mumbai with 2 rings tied to its legs, carrying words that looked like Chinese. So that's why they brought it in thinking it was a spy. Police suspected it was involved in espionage.
I suppose it could be. It's just not its fault.
Well, why are the Chinese sending pigeons to India anyway?
Yeah.
You know?
But the pigeons that I spoke about before were technically involved in espionage.
It's true. This is true. So, yeah.
But again, not the pigeon's fault.
Yeah.
It's the use of them.
See, detaining him for 8 months. That's just ridiculous.
I know. And keeping it alive.
Yeah,
Keeping a pigeon alive for 8 months because you think it's a Chinese spy.
I'm picturing them like giving it the electric chair at the end. Just everything. I'm just picturing the whole prison journey just with a pigeon.
And is there a prison?
Little outfit.
Is there a prison full of pigeons that they keep? Like, what do they do? Just keep it on its own somewhere?
Just remember the chain gang back in the day? And but it's just doing this instead with its beak, just pecking something.
There's a great Partridge one, isn't it? You know, when he goes to the owl sanctuary and he's like, Mr. And he'd be like, he said, like, you couldn't really kill a bird by hanging because they would just float and the noose would go slack. And he says the most humane way would just be to kill them by firing squads.
Any last words?
Electricity should now be passed through your body until you are dead. But eventually it turned out the pigeon was an open water racing bird from Taiwan and it had escaped.
Oh,
So it's an athlete.
Yeah. I don't want to catch him, to be fair.
An open water racing bird.
Like we should know what that is and go, fair enough. Should have known.
They should have known by his uniform.
Yeah.
Not a very
Number
good one
16.
anyway. It ended up in India,
But
is
his
it?
aerodynamic nature and his Nike Air Maxes on his feet.
He's fucking speed goggles.
He's got like an A-train costume on.
A-train.
Why'd you over the
baby.
water? You can fly anywhere. Like, anyway, so that was the first one. The second animal-related news story is Utah teen faces charges after allegedly not allegedly because he did it, taping fish to ATMs. Police believe he was responsible for dozens of fish taping incidents.
Do you know how annoying that would be? Putting your pin in and then it's smelling of fish. You know how hard it is
No,
to
the
get that
fish. Hold on, I need to find the photo for you because look, there's the photo.
Oh, let's see this.
Use massive duct tape.
Oh, come on.
You got to put in your pin card.
There it is. There it is. And he even did a police car as well, apparently. So, but
It's like the. Did you ever watch the Netflix show? What was it called now? It's like the guy who drew the dicks. What's it called? American. It was called American something. It was basically a mockumentary about how like they do a true crime documentary, but it was about a guy who just drew,
I did watch that.
drew dicks everywhere.
In school, innit?
In school.
Yeah.
They did
Oh, it's so good.
American
I thought it was
Vandal.
real.
American Vandal.
Yes.
It was brilliant.
Everybody
So
thought
good.
it was
The main
real.
guy is great. He's been in a couple of things. He's
So
really
good.
good. But that sounds like something that would be good on that.
Yeah.
Maybe it's PR for the new one.
That's a good shout, actually.
Authorities suspected the fish taping was done in innocent fun, but charged him with 2 misdemeanor counts of property damage because cleaning up the fish carcasses started to cost money.
How much fish was it, by the way? Does it say?
I don't think it was.
Utah fish sales up 200% this week.
Because I'm wondering where the line from innocent fun turns into like actual crime. Because 2 or 3 fish, it's funny.
No, well, they said
200 fish.
Yeah.
What's
We
going
can't
on?
move for fish in this village.
They
Every
said
like
it
you go to
started
like
to
pull
cost
your car
money.
handle out and there's just a fish attached to it. You're like, no.
No, the whole society collapsed. No one could spend money because no one could get money out anymore. We must get this guy. I was going to ask any fish puns because the one in the article said guilty as charged.
That's good.
Very good.
Yeah.
I actually can't think of any fish pun jokes for this one.
No.
No.
It must have been a smelly place for whilst he was doing that.
Oh, very good.
Okay.
Pin card was good. I'm happy with that.
Pin cod was pretty good.
We'll have that.
Good.
So that was it this week.
Some
Couple
CTF
enjoying
news.
that.
weird bits.
Amazing. Brilliant. Well, that sends us, that wraps up episode 21. That was fun. I really enjoyed that episode. Good one.
stuff.
Yeah, man.
Ask your uncles first time out.
Yeah.
And we need you to give us more bits. So make sure if you're still watching this bit now, you drop us comments and let us know how your uncles can help you out next week.
Like and subscribe.
Love you lot. Have a good week. Take care. See you soon.
Right.